Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's good?
Hey, man, my brother, let me tell you something, man. Dude, my brother, it's an honor, man, to interview you, man, because I've been wanting to interview you, man. You were the fellas for a long time, man. Let me tell you, when I was a little boy, dude, I would try to sing your songs. I couldn't sing worth a lick. And I thought I was doing something back in 91, 92. You know, trying to sing a song, Come and Talk to Me, Baby Won't You Stay. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't get no drums, though, but at least I tried. It's stuff.
What's up, man? Appreciate it.
Man, but I want to congratulate you on your brand new album. It's called Egomaniac, am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So what made you come up with that title, Egomaniac?
I think contrary to what people believe, they think he got a big ego, he got a big head, but that's not what it is. I think me and my nephew, we created this sound, like my brother had the basement sound. And, you know, everybody like, you know, Jimmy Jam and Taylor's had the Minneapolis sound. And when I started working with my nephew and doing my own projects, I said, I'm going to create my sound called the Egomaniac sound. What I would do is take a bunch of like little weird sounds and make them into instruments. And so me and my nephew started doing that. We were like, that's the Egomaniac, that's the Egomaniac. So I think people think that, you know, I'm like this big conceited, big head type of dude, but that's not what it is. So, yeah. and then it turned into this, as I actually wrote the short film that's actually on YouTube right now. I wrote that actually before I did the album. So I made the songs according to like, it's just like a soundtrack to Egomaniac, the story behind the short film. So
yeah. What I like about your videos, man, it's like, even though, okay, there's your face on there, you know, you see you moving around, doing stuff, it's like a movie, man. It's, you know, because it's one thing, you know, when you're in a group, you know, you do things one way, when people get a chance to see your world, like, wow, man, you know, this is like a movie, you know, I never got a chance to really, you know, you get a chance to show, you know, who Mr.Dalvin is and stuff.
Right. Well, you know, sometimes even like this project, because I released a lot of songs, like I did Famous before this. And, you know, it takes a while for people to kind of catch on because we're in a world now where if you're not behind a big machine like Sony or whatever, it's hard for independent artists to really be heard because there's a lot of great artists out there. And that's another conversation because I want to start campaigning for independent artists because there's a lot of great artists that never get heard because they don't have the millions of dollars behind them. And, you know, me coming from you know, well-established group that's has success, and me as a solo artist, it's kind of hard for people to separate the two because they always want to see Jodeci, you know, instead of just realizing what I do over here. So it's like it was really important to me to just keep being consistent in what I do and what I know how to do, and my contribution to Jodeci as well as to myself as a solo artist and as an artist and as a producer, songwriter as well. So
absolutely. So we're going to break down each song off this new album. You tell me the backstory is what inspired you to create, you know, these joints on here. So the first track, The Speech.
But the speech is actually me. People think it's somebody else, that's actually me talking.
Okay.
So, well, I think because people like, you know, I think, like I said before, the word egomaniac, I think people like try to, you know, just attribute it to me being an egomaniac. But that's why I say don't confuse cockiness, you know, confidence. And like me, I think I come across maybe a little cocky sometimes, but I'm just I really believe in myself and I believe in what I can do. And I'm really confident whether I'm playing sports, and I'm very competitive. So, you know, anybody that knows me knows that about me. Anything I do, you know, I could be shooting paper in the trash can. I want to win. I could be flipping coins. You know, you win one time, I gotta win 5. It's just, you know, I could be driving go-karts, whatever. I'm just very, very, you know, competitive. So I just make a speech because I think a lot of people, it applies to a lot of people, not just to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I thought it was important for people to understand, like, this is not just about me having an ego. It's about me being confident and believing and understanding my work as far as an artist too, you know?
Absolutely. Track number 2, Clap Your Hands.
Well, that's an old Meters beat. I just like that beat from way back in the day. I always wanted to make a record out of that. And the concept, like I said, I was writing a movie. I'd already written a movie, and it was just in my head. That would be a perfect song for me to flip that sample. You know, clap your hands now, people. I just always liked it. I said, I like the beat that's going under the clap. And so I just started messing with it, you know, cutting the sample up, and I just put the keyboards and the strings and stuff behind it. So I just thought it would be a good opening for like a movie like that, like me being a rehearsal and me about the, you know, like almost like a day in the life of Mr.Dalvin. So I just that's what I you know, envisioned as I was writing the film.
Okay. The next track, Pimp Strobe Light.
Right. I'm just kind of self-explanatory, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in the cataract and the low riders, and my friend Tone, which is actually Tone, you know, he had this Cadillac. I said, you know what? This would be a dope track to go, the segue from, because it's almost old school, just to clap your hands. So it kind of segue into like a little more modern sound that I have. I like old school music. And then, you know, like even the hook at the end of Diamonds in the Back, I just kind of like take from old school songs that I like. And I just thought that'd be a good scene to transition from what I was trying to get to, me chilling on the strip and me just actually, you know, at the next scene, and we'll set the next song. So I thought it'd be a perfect segue, like just me out of night in the town and just hanging out with Tone. So that's kind of
all right. Oh, okay. Yeah, like the next joint, Down With You.
Right. I think that was just kind of like, you know, a lot of people get mad, but it always happens. It's like, if you go to a grocery store or somebody, you got some girlfriend, you always see the prettiest girls. You always see like, you always, but it's like you can't say nothing, and then you get caught looking, you'll get in trouble. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like one of the things like what guys really kind of go through. Like, guys don't get mad, but man, we always looking, you know, beauty is beauty. So it's like, it just seems like every time you meet somebody, you always see this fly chick. Not saying you talk to them, but you got a chance to freedom to look at it. But when you by yourself, you never ever see fine women. You never do. So it's kind of like I was kind of like just messing with that, just playing with it, and that was kind of like what I was going to. So. Okay.
All right, the next track, 9 to 5.
Right. Well, like I said, if you watch the film, then you understand the song. So the way that the songs are strategically placed on the album, 9 to 5 is me actually, you know, following the girl that I met at the gas station, getting to know her, and then, you know, the diabolical scheme that's unfolding the whole time. Because, you know, she's booed up with somebody else that I shouldn't be. And, you know, you have Tone in the earlier scene telling me that she's no good, that she's bad news. But I'm still, as a guy, I'm still pursuing this because, you know, we love attractive women, and she's attracted at the gas station. You know, I felt like I could just make a move, you know, man.
All right. The next joint, Serious.
Serious is more of the seductive, sexual type of record that's on the album. Like I said, once I'm with the girl, it's almost like if you watch the film, like I gotta keep going back to the movie because it explains the songs a little more better. But it's like, you know, now she's at home and she's having these thoughts of, you know, being with me and, you know, making love to me or whatever. And I'm going through the same thing as I'm driving, thinking about the girl that saw the club, and, you know, and you gotta use your imagination. Of course, we hooked up, whatever, without even showing me in the video. But that's what happened, and then fast forward to, you know, the troubled times.
All right. The next one is I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah, okay, yeah, 4 a.m.
4 a.m. is, you know, as you know, the relationship turned toxic. You know, now she ain't coming home. You know, this is all bad. Because I said, listen in the beginning. So now I'm kind of like venting. You know, like I said, I'm standing by the window like most guys do when they, you know, in this relationship that you know they shouldn't be in. I'm standing by the window venting. Now she ain't coming home no more. She ain't answering my text. She disappearing at night. You know what I'm saying? It's just them type of things. You know, you go through with the wrong women, you know, and lays with the wrong guys. Same thing.
You know, they're like, with your fashion, man, like, you always inspire a lot of people, man, because I've been watching you, like, the way you, also, like, basically, like, the way you wear over the years, from, like, the early 90s up to this point. And I said, man, like, you know, besides the other brothers, I was like, I ain't never seen a brother out of place. Not one time, man, you know, with a smooth head, glasses, shirt, vest, tight haircut, whatever. I said, you know, like, where'd you get your fashion sense from? Who inspired you to dress like the way you do?
Well, I gotta say my mom. Like my only addiction in life is shopping. Anybody knows me knows that I mean, you know, I'm not gonna $10 in my pocket, not even going to the t-shirt or something. I figure the rest out later. You know, that's just how I am. You know, when it comes to shoes, clothes, I've always been like that in school, you know, like even going through school, I was always in the clothes. And so when it came to Jodeci, you know, I had the idea, this is how we're gonna look, the image, and all the other people kind of try to get credit for it. It was all, you know, my mastermind to, this is how we're gonna look, we're gonna be more, you know, just everyday, like guys could feel like they could dress like us, and we never be in sequin suits or, you know, just over the top. You know, over the years we add a piece, and as our budget got a little big, you know, we had the nice leather pieces and everything. But first it was just the jeans and the boots and, you know, the Doc Martens and the oversized sweatshirts, because that's how we could afford it. You know, the record started selling, you know, the budget gets a little bigger, then I got a chance to experiment with different type of things, you know, the black leather and, you know, different type of things, and the jewelry, the earrings, and everything. So as time went on, but I've always been into fashion, you know, and I see a lot of guys that even my peers go on my page and they copy my algorithm, and they never say, I got his own Mr. Dalvin's page. I mean, I just laugh, and it's cool, but It is what it is. It's just natural to me. Like, this is how I dress. I don't wake up in the morning like I gotta look good for the world. I just put on what I put on. I'm just always like into what I do. I mean, I have shoes. I just walk to the mailbox and just in case somebody snap a pic. That means so it's like, I always feel like I gotta be like on point. So it's what I am, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy though because like during the height of R&B, especially like in the '80s and like up to like '91, our average R&B male singer was like wearing like double like all suit ties and stuff, and that's all you see. You know, if you guys came in wearing hoodies, see the boots and stuff, and looking back at it, like, man, it was different, because nobody wasn't dressing like that. And it's funny because as soon as y'all put it out there, you start seeing Bobby Brown, SWV, Tevin Camp in the middle of the Tevin album, switching from that look and stuff. And I'm like, it's crazy how you can wear something and it becomes an influence to everybody.
Well, it was a hard fight for us with our record company because, it's hard to be a trailblazer, the trendsetter in the industry, even like now, if your music's gonna sound like 1,000 people won't play it or they won't think it's good. So we in a world where everything is gotta be, uniform or everything gotta be in line with everything that's going on. And so when you step out the box, everybody look at you sound and like, well, I don't know if that's good or not until everybody else says good. So we took that chance when we were with Uptown Records, God rest his soul, Andre Rell, he gave us a hard time. And we said, this is gonna work because this is who we are. We come out of church, but we want to feel like we can, relate to our fans. We don't feel like they want to dress like that. They can afford to dress like that. They can look like that. So that way, guys can relate to Jodeci. Not just guys trying to steal everybody's girlfriend, but guys don't like Jodeci too. And, we have just as many guy fans, almost as female fans. Just the fact that they can relate to who we are as artists. You know what I'm saying? So we just felt that was really important to just step out the box of what the normal R&B was. Nothing against the former R&B like Temptation and everything, because they were unified and great and our inspirations. But as far as we came in the industry, our sound was different, our look was different, and our mentality and the way we made records was different,
Yeah. So. The first time I saw you guys, was I was watching the Strictly Business movie, and I remember there was a scene of y'all was performing, like a short scene. And there was like with Tommy Davis and the other brother, and y'all was performing, and I was like, who was that? But what really caught my attention was when BT premiered the music video Gotta Love, and then after that, Here Comes Stay, then that video, man, just kept popping and popping in. I just came, it's the fact.
Well, so the first movie, that was Halle Berry's first movie too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
real?
That was the very first movie that she played in, and so we got a chance to kind of like start again, I guess you would say. So.
Oh, wow. Now, so like growing up in North Carolina, now you come from a church background, if I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So was you a part of like a gospel choir group, or you was more like into sports or something like that growing up as a kid?
Well, see, let me take you back a little bit. Casey and JoJo came out of gospel, but it was a quartet gospel. I don't know what you know what quartet is. It's like the southern deep soul quartet gospel. Me and Devontae more like came out of traditional gospel because my father was a TV evangelist at the time. So we had more like a contemporary gospel. So we were always in gospel. Like I was never in church choir. I played drums with my dad, and we wrote songs with my dad and did like things for like other gospel artists. But it was more of a contemporary side. So when Casey and JoJo and me and Devontae met, it kind of like the two sounds kind of came together. So we all came out of church. All four of us came out of church.
Oh, okay. So like so fast forward up a bit, so by the time the Jodeci thing happened, here it is, Strictly Business movies out, the soundtrack. And how did y'all, now who came with the title Forever My Lady? Was it you guys or was it like Andre Rell's decision?
No, I think Devontae came with the title because back then it was a toss of like different names. I think Devontae's like, this is really Forever My Lady. So we like you said, we brought the slow songs on one side and our up-tempo songs on the other side. So and our whole thing was we wanted to be like up-tempo group because our influences were like God. We wanted to dance and be like but the balance is what got Jodeci at the top. So luckily we just everything just came together, like, what I'm saying? By the grace of God. I mean, some of these things that you don't plan and they just kind of go, it's like they just meant to be. It was kind of like that. So.
Absolutely. What was it like, in the studio, working with Al B. Sure and you know, and like create, you know, coming up with ideas, you know, for the joints that became like a landmark, you know, for the culture of music?
Well, see, Casey, Joe, and myself, Devontae and JoJo, me and Devontae, we were always in the studio as kids. So we know how to make our way around the studio. We know how to stack home. We know how to do a lot of these things already. Being in the studio at such young ages, you know, with our parents and making and producing our own records. So being in Jodeci is a self-contained group. We write, produce, arrange everything. So we got to New York, and you know, Alvin Shaw was, you know, partners with Cal West, who was a great producer, and I was a great producer. He came in the studio and kind of got us some like newer sounds as far as like drum sounds and how to, you know, different arrangements, which he's really good in the studio. You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of people mistakenly think that Alvin Shaw wrote our album, and he came and he gave us some insight on how to record. And the first line of Forever My Lady, he did right. You know, so yeah, my baby. So that's the misconception I think everybody has. But yeah, so but as far as the songs were already written, we're like 13, 14, 15 years old before we got to New York. You know, Forever My Lady album, all the songs were already written. We just had to come in and re-record and touch them up and, you know, change the tempo on some of the songs and just different things. So, but the album was pretty much done. And we got our demo, like I said, we was really young when these songs were written, you know.
Where was you at when you found out that you and your group went #1 on the R&B Billboard chart with Stay?
Somebody asked me this a couple of years ago too. I'm trying to remember. I can't recall. I just remember hearing the first time they dissed our song. We released "Gotta Love" first. It was our first single, and they had no rush it or flush it. Everybody flushed it. We're like, oh man, we fly. And, you know, we were so heartbroken because they just comments and, you know, saying, flush it. Who do you think they are? I want to be New Jack Swing Group. And we just thought it was over. And so we went and we did, I think we did Stay next. And then so all of a sudden, it's just like the floodgates open. And, you know, Jodeci was everywhere. But, you know, I think we were more disappointed with the first single being a flop. You know what I'm saying? And I think that as it just kind of happened, we was kind of like still in awe of us not really. I don't think it really set in when it set in that we were actually successful, had a successful single out because we were still disappointed by Gotta Love. You know what I'm saying? It take a long time to get over. So. Yeah.
You know, for like when you start seeing a ship change and you start seeing fans, rushing towards you, how did that make you feel, you know, as a young kid, you know, and experiencing like that exposure like that at the time?
Man, that I do remember. It was in Washington, D.C. And we did this outside show. We didn't know how huge Jodeci was. I think it's like our first performance, you know, and we knew we had like a song that's playing where I think it was at this time Come and Talk Me just been released or whatever song it was. And we went to this outside thing, and I think the place was a whole like 1,500 people, and like I think 14 or 15,000 people showed up. They couldn't make the block almost half the city, and we was like, "What, do you want to see us?" And so we got on stage, and the stage was little. It was like some little high school stage. We didn't get the first note out, and this whole crowd just rushed the stage. I mean, the police couldn't stop it. They turned our van over. I mean, they stole my shoes off my feet. And right then, I was frightened because I don't think that we didn't understand it was the love that they had for us. We didn't know what was going on. It was like a riot. We didn't even know all this was because of us. And that moment on, we knew we was on to something. And it was like, I mean, they turned my whole vehicle over, you know what I'm saying? I remember it took that's a yellow, white Air Force One I just got, and you know, I'm a shoe lover. It took them off my feet. I thought I heard about my shoes getting taken. So, yeah. So whoever got my Air Force Ones from 1991, keep them on.
Yeah. You know, heard this like, here come another #1 hit, right. You know, Forever My Lady. And I tell you, man, you know, as a kid, you know, seeing that you guys dominated, man, video soul, man. I mean, like, even though like it was y'all, Boyz II Men, you know, it was Chinese, it was Tevin Campbell hitting it, but it's like you brothers stayed in everybody's face. You know, say between VH1, MTV, was it the box and everything, man. I said, yo, this video here, man, is like on fire, man.
Right. I mean, you know, like I said, all glory to God, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't expect none of this. We just made a couple records and we thought we'd get a couple girls, maybe a couple dollars. And it turned to the phenomenon that it did. And still to this day, we're still blessed to, you know, like, sell out shows and still have a residency in Las Vegas, and which is sold out every night. And, you know what I mean? Over the years, when you create great product, it's able to stand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? Because you see a lot of artists that can't work, and that don't have a catalog like Jodeci's and continue to be successful as the years go on. The music just gets better and better, you know. So
yeah, especially back in those days we had remixes. There was definitely part okay, you got a original hot track. Let's try to remix it. Now, y'all had like 3 different versions of "Come and Talk to Me" and stuff. If I am mistaken or not. And looking back at it, it's like, wow, man, like to it's one thing I got to remix. You see like a second version, but to have like 3 different versions.
We call them remakes, not a remix. You know what I'm saying? We just like, we would go back and do the whole song because, like, back in the day when people remix a song, they just turn something up or turn something down and take something out or mute this and mute that. We were like actually re-sung the whole song, change the track, change the key, change the melody, and that's what became important. And you looking like when I did the Freek'n You remix of Wu-Tang Clan, I redid the whole thing. We just X'd out everything that it was with the original version, and just redid the whole thing.
Yeah. Now on the last single of the album, I'm Still Waiting, and there's a part so you was rapping on there. Was that a business decision? But like, you know what, like we are to sing, this other brothers do their part, like let's say get him, have a shine in and stuff.
Right. You said ask me what the rap was on I'm Still Waiting. Your phone with him. Yeah, thing went out for a minute. Why did I rap on there?
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question. Ask me one more time.
No, I was saying, I said, we had an opportunity to shine, say as far as like, do like a rap verse for I'm Still Waiting. And when I remember saw it, I said, dang, he could spit because, back then, seeing a singer to rap, it was very rare to see the rapper doing that.
Right. Well, I think like me growing up too, like when my first taste of hip hop, I mean, I kind of brought the hip hop element to Jodeci because I was heavy into rap. When we started listening to R&B music, and because being gospel kids, we couldn't listen to R&B music, so we started sneaking. My brother listened to Prince, well, I would go and listen to Dougie Fresh and Roxanne Shante and Big Daddy Kane and Rakim, and that always was my thing. LL Cool J, the first 2 albums, Big and Deaf and Bad, and these are all like the things that like kind of got me going. So we kind of as time went on, I kind of brought the element to Jodeci, like the hip hop edgy side to it. So I was like, let me just spit like a good old 8 to 16 bars on one of these records. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah. I want to ask you this now. The song, The Times We Shared, now y'all performed on Living Color and a couple television appearances, even concerts. How come that wasn't a single?
At the time, I think when things started getting different is when MCA kind of took over Uptown Records, which is more like a political thing. We were going through a lot of different changes where we had the freedom to kind of just do what we wanted to do, and they would kind of like tell you what the single was going to be, and they would kind of go with the single whether it was right or wrong. And it was kind of like at this time it started being a lot of turmoil because once you're successful at something, everybody want to start putting their 2 cents in. They don't want to stick to the original formula. So going away from what we thought and what we wanted. Because times when we go on these TV shows and do these songs, they wanted to do something else. We're like, no, we're going to do this song. Well, that's not a single. Well, we're going to do it anyway. So it's kind of like, they was never supportive sometimes of the things that we wanted to do. So they were just kind of like, well, y'all go there and crash and burn. We're not going to support it. So, hey, we just started doing what we wanted to do, And it gets like that when sometimes when you're confined or you're chained down by a record label, they can tell you what to do and when to do it and how to do it, So a lot of artists pretty much come with the record label want them to be instead of what they started out with the original artistry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that makes sense though because it ain't like now where you can put like 8-9 videos.
Right.
That way you ain't gonna worry about a fan. Be like, hey man, how come you ain't put this out, man?
Right. Exactly. You can do whatever you want now, especially when you're independent. So
yeah. In 1993, y'all put out a single called "Let's Go Through the Motions" for Who's the Bad soundtrack. How did that situation came about?
I think Ed Lover, and it was a movie about Ed Lover and Dr. Dre being cops. At Uptown Records, Andre Rell was executive producer, so he put most of his Uptown acts on that soundtrack. Yeah. So yeah, that's how that came about. Yeah,
it was a dope record and stuff. And in between that, while that record was out, y'all did a cover of Stevie Wonder's classic hit "Lately." And who was the decision to be like, hey, like let's try to, cover one of our favorite records, try to put something out there? Was it like a label decision or like y'all decision to, put something out?
It was actually Andre Rell's because we had never heard that song before. None of us had ever heard it. We actually learned this song maybe like a week before the Unplugged. And he's like, hey, y'all should cover this record because I think Christopher Williams did Teddy Pendergrass and Mary J. Blige did. I think I'm Going Down. I can't if I'm right, but he wanted us to cover a record by, I guess, an older artist, something that was just cut and raw. And he handed us that. We was like, well, why not do like Ribbon in the Sky or something else? Because we had never heard Lately before. And that was just a mastermind of Andre Rell at the time who presented that to us to do Lately, because we had never, like I said, never heard that record.
Yeah. Especially back then when MTV Unplugged, man, was the shit back then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Artists got a chance to promote their records, and went from there because it was y'all, Joe Public, Chinese, and I can't think whoever else was with y'all and stuff. But y'all performance like stood out more than everybody.
It was a good platform for artists. Like you had the shows like Arsenio Hall show and a lot of platforms that, because people didn't, if you wasn't on MTV, you wasn't really getting heard as an R&B artist. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you had all these outlets like, Video Soul, BET, and all these things that would help, to showcase black talent and black artists, and that we don't really have anymore now. But like I said, if you didn't have MTV, you had to either be on Arsenio Hall if it was black, or MTV Unplugged, or things that were not as mainstream as like the major MTV shows. But
it's crazy, man, with the song Lately. It's like, it's a classic, but every time when I post anything that's about, y'all, people bring up the episode y'all was on Martin. I was like, man, they can't even escape it even if they try.
Right.
So, now I heard one of the interviews that KC and JoJo said that they know that was part of the scene or something like that.
No, nobody on the set knew. Nobody knew. I don't even think like Tisha Campbell and everybody else that played, nobody knew what he was going to do. We just thought he was coming in to perform at a TV show. Yeah. And that's what they told us in the dressing room. So when Martin did that, I mean, they had to keep cutting because we couldn't stop laughing. Nobody could stop laughing.
Yeah.
And so they had to keep cutting and going to it again, but nobody could stop laughing. It was so funny. I said one day I hope they show the outtakes or the bloopers of that, because they were funny. To me, they're funnier than the actual show. But like I said, they should release the bloopers, because they had to keep cut because nobody could stop laughing. We couldn't even get through the song. It was funny because he did it different every single time. So,
oh man, I tell you, man, dude, I swear that's funny. The most epic episode of Martin did, man. I mean,
right.
I swear, man. I thought to myself, like, if there ever was a live performance and that was a remake again, I can only imagine what that would look like.
Yeah, but it was cool though. We had a lot of fun with Martin. He's funny, man. He's talented, and he's a genius.
Now around this time, coming off of those joints and stuff, y'all have discovered so many great talented people like Timbaland. Rest in peace from over here in Little Kentucky, Static Major, Missy Elliott, so many people. I know people were sending y'all cassette tapes, demo tapes, just wanted to be heard by that time. So how did y'all, wanted to be a part of trying to discover artists after y'all was being put on?
We always like talent, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gave us a chance, so we always was looking to, to bring new artists on and new talent, as well as I discovered Stevie J. And I mean, a lot of people don't know I discovered Missy. Missy came to a show and snuck on my hotel room floor with her group. She was in a group called Sister at the time. And she got my attention, and we talked, and, she rapped for me and beatboxing and dancing and blah, blah, blah. And I went and got Devontae. I was like, Devontae at the time had the label Swing Mob, or the production company Swing Mob. And I said, hey, you need to talk to my brother. And so my brother came. He wasn't too impressed at first. And I was like, D, that's what I call my brother. I said, D, she got something. I don't know what it is, but, then she started doing her thing and blah, blah, blah. And he saw it. So from then on, history goes on. And as we on tour, every tour we go, we always pick up somebody like Genuine. My brother found him in D.C. And, Stevie J, I found him in Buffalo. And the list goes on, and Static, I think my brother found them in Kentucky. And, we just brought them all together as a family, and he created the Basement sound and the Basement family for, Timbaland and, the rest of them.
Yeah. Did you kind of look, I want to say the word the future, kind of look ahead you know what, they're going to get somewhere, as far as career-wise, as you saw them kind of grow and stuff?
Well, I mean, you always think that. I mean, it's like like a mother watching her son go to college to play basketball. You want to always see him, when she, go through the whole process and become successful at what he dreams of doing. And, these people at the same time, the same dreams we had. you know, and it's always good to reach and you know, pull. And what they do after you bring them along is up to them. You know, most time they go left and, you know, they forget who you are. But, you know, it's always good to try to, you know, reach back because you're going to be rewarded for it at the end of the day when you know, get somebody, help them get to a level of success that they dream of, or, you know, that's what they want their hopes and dreams to become, and you help them. It always feels good to see them be successful, no matter how they view you. You know, in your mind that, you know, I was a part of them getting here. So, you know, it is what it is. Right. You know.
Now, going to the second album, Diary of a Mad Man, who came with the idea for
that? Well, this is the time when we became really good friends with Snoop and the whole West Coast and, you know, the whole Dog Pound and everything. And we just want to make something that kind of, a lot of songs kind of had like a West Coast flair to it. You know what I'm saying? So it was more like the sound it was going for. And this is what was that, you know, we had come up with the success of My Lady and moving to Diary of a Madman. We had more freedom to just try to, you know, just to do what we want to do. Because like I said, a record company try to stop you. But once they understand, you can't stop the creative process of what we had because it worked. Then they kind of get out your way. And we followed Devontae's direction. You know, even the songs I did, we sat down and came up with a concept of the album. And that's just basically what came out, you know, so.
Yeah, so the first single, you know, you'll see guys put out Cry For You, another #1 R&B hit smash. And it's not easy, you know, to go from having 3 straight #1 R&B hits to try to do another one for like a second album and stuff.
Right.
You know, so did you guys have like a little more creative freedom on the second album?
Did the first? Like I said, we always said the only creative freedom we didn't have is when it came to what singles to put out. But as far as writing and producing, nobody got in the way of nothing that we did because they trusted the process. They just want us to leave the administration process up to them. Yeah. You know, what singles to pick, what's good. But as far as the creative process, we had always had control of that, you know. And as far as like the Cry For You, we, as an artist, I think you should never try to outdo yourself. Just do what you do best. Right. And, you know, a lot of artists come in, I got to top my #1 album, I got to top the last single. And, you know, that's where you get caught up in trying to outdo yourself and you miss focus of what it is that you do best. As long as you do what you do best, then you're always going to do your best. And, you know, it's going to always be good. But once we never got a thing of For My Lady sold XYZ million, this one got to sell double that. We never thought that. You know, we just did what we know how to do. You go in the studio and follow what you feel. And don't try to make music that people love. Make music that you love first. And people will love it, you know.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, like when it comes to your brothers, you know, songwriter, man, I thought to myself, like, Devontae deserves to be the Songwriter Hall of Fame, man. Right. His pen game is like out of this world.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
You know, he'll come with these ideas, man. I mean, his brother should have all kinds of accolades.
Right.
Under his belt and stuff.
I agree 1,000%. Yeah.
And stuff, you know. The second single, Feenin. And, you know, I tell you, man, like another class, like every song you guys put out, you know, it was like hit after hit, man. It's like it just stays in your head, man. You know, what I like about the stuff, you know, it's one thing, you know, you put a song together, but the way you guys sing it, man, with so much passion, even if it's not about y'all personal lives, but y'all make it believable. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, y'all music, man, is responsible for a lot of people, man, being bored about a breakup and stuff. Trust me, I know. Growing up, I know. Y'all was in that top list. I said, man, like they got something God truly don't even know about, man.
Right. I hear it all the time, man. I hear God say all the time when we go to cities, man, you owe me some child support money. I'm like, hey, man, listen, you made that choice. It wasn't mine.
I ain't got nothing to do with that, brother.
I got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Right.
It's the okay. The third single, "What About Us," was like the last single, you know, from there. You know, I tell you, it's crazy though, because like in the '90s, you know, here it is. It was y'all, Boys to Men, and it seemed like it was like that to that. You know, people always say like what they call like kind of like the Boys to Men, kind of like not the Goody Two Shoes, but kind of like the Preppy Boys, and they try to leave you on this hood. Right. Then they kind of like, I know like they didn't bother you. I was like, you know, okay, like they're just what they call us. You know, it's not a big deal or anything like that.
I mean, I think that since we were like the two powerhouses of the '90s as far as R&B music, because we're totally different. I don't even know how they put Boys and Men and Jodeci versus each other, because we had in two different genres almost of music. You know what I'm saying? They're more like a pop, you know, kind of clean, which I love Boys and Men, good friends of mine. They're more clean. Their image was more clean. I was just Ours was over here, the Bad Boys R&B. And it was just, we're different, you know what I'm saying? You know, although it's good music on this side, good music on this side, we don't not in the same stratosphere as far as like, you know, artistry, as far as like music, you know what I'm saying? So I think it was just because we were 4 guys in one group and 4 guys in another group. We're both black and they put us against each other. I mean, you never seen them putting, you know, the Rolling Stones against Guns N' Roses, 2 white groups. You never seen them Def Leppard against Bon Jovi, but since we're black, they want to create this kind of narrative that we have beef with each other because we both doing the same thing. But you never see that with white groups or rock groups or anybody. It's just let's put rap against rapper, R&B against R&B. Anybody that's black, basketball player against basketball player. I mean, it's because I think because we're black and that's the way that people in the media and the machine feeds off of if we some reason got a problem with each other. You know what I'm saying? But we never had a problem with them. And it was more like the narrative that the media tried to create, like, oh, they got a problem with Boys and that. Boys and got a problem with Jodeci. It wasn't that at all. We on tour together. Our first tour was together. We toured together. I mean, it was a competitive thing on stage. Like, hey, we're gonna do our thing. You know, we're gonna do our thing, and it is what it is. That's just like anything, you know.
Yeah.
So it is. But as far as like other than that, nah, we good. We always been good.
Yeah, because I never understood like they try to put y'all against each other, and I get it because you guys had so many monster hits coming back to
right,
back.
Right.
Throw it in your face and stuff.
Right.
Now, correct me on this one. Oh God, I lost my trail of thought. It'll come to me now. Like you guys are responsible for the hip hop soul sound,
right?
Even though people always label Mary as the queen of hip hop soul, and I get it, but I was like, gotta throw your area as like the kings of hip hop soul, in my opinion, because heard that New Jack Swing was like all this hype and stuff like that, and to have that hip hop influence at the time, I didn't know what hip hop soul was until I got like a little bit older. So okay, that's what that sound is, stuff, you know. And for you guys, thought to yourself like, okay, we like this, but we want to, add something different for people. I hope they'll like what we produce out there.
Well, I think that we were the first to merge kind of like rap and R&B together. I mean, because on our second album, we had Redman on there, we had Missy Elliott on there, and rappers R&B artists wasn't really putting rap on their songs. Some stations wouldn't play some of our records because we had a rapper on it. They would take the rap part out and just play, like, even on Come and Talk to Me, they wouldn't play, some stations wouldn't play the remix because Fat Doug was rapping on it. They would just play the version without Fat Doug. So I think, in retrospect, we kind of coined the phrase hip-hop, hip-hop R&B because we kind of coined it together. Then, like I said, when we came with Wu-Tang, it was a whole different element. Then you start seeing every R&B artist have a rapper on there, have a rapper. You have to get a rapper, got to get this rapper, got to get a rapper. But that was just, it was just something that these people were like some of our influences and people that we liked and our friends. So we just put them on our record. And then it became a thing. If you was an R&B artist, you had to have a rapper to do 16 bars. But it wasn't mandatory for us. We just did it because we wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So these things became, even the way we dress, you got to dress like Jodeci. The way we sung, you got to harmonize like Jodeci. The way we put rap, you got to put a rap on your record. So it became all these things that we just kind of did because it came natural, but it became the standard of what R&B became, and so it's like, I feel like we set the bar to where we wanted to be, and only because we did what we want to do and didn't follow anybody, so, and I think people, like now they forget, and you got a lot of groups that came out, and they won't say that, oh yeah, we got this, or Jodeci opened the door for this, but I mean, all actuality that we kicked down a lot of doors for a lot of artists that's here and relevant now too as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The third album, The Show, The After Party, The Hotel. I like that name and stuff, man. It sounds so smooth.
Right.
How you keep with that. And what I like about the videos, it was like, man, like it just kept like it was like a movie. What I'm saying? Right. I was like, looking back at it, man, like you brothers outdid themselves, as far as on the creative process, with that. And I remember I was coming home from school, I saw the cover y'all on the Vibe magazine. And by this time, like your look kind of changed a little bit and stuff. What was going in coming off from like the first 2 albums, and want to try something different on the third album?
Like I said, as an artist, I think that you don't try to outdo yourself. You just keep being creative. You can't stand the same. Like a flower eventually outgrows its pot. You know what I'm saying? Like. You gotta keep growing. You can't just be like, okay, I see this now, I'm scared to move forward. You gotta keep pushing envelopes, especially when you're a creator of anything. You look at car makers, they keep going. You look at the Tesla, they thought, oh, it's a self-driving car. Now you got a self-driving van. You got the things that don't even need a driver now. So you got to keep being creative in any creative process. Whatever, if you make clothes, if you make food, anything you make, you got to keep pushing the envelope to stay fresh and stay new, but stay who you are and stay true to what you believe in doing. So the third album is just another thing, another phase. Hey, this is gonna be the album, and let's stick to what the concept is. And you know, in the back of your mind, sometimes people gonna like it, they're not gonna like it. Some people are, some people not. You know, because some people get comfortable staying where they at. Some people don't like change. Some people don't like new. Some people don't like rebranding. But you know, as if you give them a good product, they're gonna accept the rebranding of anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, and you got to keep that, and that's very important in life. Just because the package changed don't mean the product is not just as good. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
sometimes it's just like that. You know.
Man, the song "Freek'n You," man, I'm gonna give you a backstory on that one.
Right.
I remember I was an intern for this radio station and stuff, and my brother, I tell you, man, your song caused little problems, brother.
Right. I mean, well, the title alone is gonna cause problems for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So.
Absolutely and stuff. And you know, once again, you know, heavy rotation. And I like the video, man, you know, where like one part you see your brother, you know, he was like in this forest seal wall and stuff, like he was going crazy and stuff, and he's daydreaming about, you know, the woman he wished he was with. That's
Feenin you talking about though. That's the Feenin video.
Yeah.
So you
okay,
yeah. You talking about that's Feenin. Yeah, that's Feenin video. When he was all in this insane asylum. So yeah.
And yeah, man, that was a bad video, man. I like that and stuff, and like the whole creative process.
Well, anytime you tell I want to take your cars, your house, and your money, something gotta be wrong with you, man.
And it was crazy, man, because like that line, you know, I remember watching BT Comic View, and a couple of comedians was talking about it. Like, what do you mean? I ain't taking my money to my car, man.
Right.
You know? But that's how it is sometimes. You know, you struggle love like that.
It is, man. It is, man. Love make you do crazy things, man. It does.
Yeah,
it does.
I ain't giving up nothing. You know, so you gotta go.
You ain't met the right woman yet. You ain't met the right woman yet.
But you know, like with Here It Is, you know, another top selling album and stuff. My favorite song was the Party Jam, Get On Up. Man, I love that record.
Thank you. I produced that. Yeah. That was my record. I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to give you credit, man, for that, man. Because, dude, you know, like you did a great job. Top 5 R&B record.
Right.
How did that Get On Up come about?
Well, actually, that record wasn't even going on album. I gotta tell you the truth, man. I gotta tell you that. My brother hated that song at first, man. I'm gonna throw him under the bus. So Devontae hated the song. He said it was too happy for the album, and when the album was going, I was like, hey man, listen. We need something that just a little pick me up type of record, you know. Because the record, it's a mood. The whole album is a vibe. It's a vibe. And I was like, hey, let's just get a ray of sunshine in here somewhere, you know, because everything is, you know, it is what it is. So I remember I did the track, and I was like, you know, I was like, hey man, I called KC. I was like, hey man, come to the studio. I got this track. I wanna do something like a anthem-y type of song. And he came in, and the first thing he said, everybody grab somebody. The first line, and they went from there. He just went on, and we just like, I was like, just keep singing. And then he said, gotta get on up. And I was like, and I said, that's the hook. That's the hook right there. And he's like, what? What'd I say? But he knew I was recording. He was just like singing. I said, that's the hook right there. And that's how as simple as that, how the song came about. He just came. That's the first thing he said when he came to the studio when the beat was playing. And I was like, that's the song.
You know,
because I was,
it's amazing.
I sat there with this, and I was like, where can I go with this? Because the beat was, I was in there just messing with the track, and I was like, where can this beat go? Where can I take this? The fit a Jodeci song, you know, because Jodeci wasn't strong point went up tempo. So I'm like, how can I make this a breakthrough up tempo for Jodeci? You know, what sound? What can still be Jodeci, classic Jodeci with harmony and still Jodeci, and that's what came out. And that was my first platinum single I had with Jodeci. So,
man, congratulations to you, my brother. You know, saying, you know, just to have, it's one thing have a plaque of what you accomplished, but to have your name printed on there, what you did, you know, I know they hit home like, wow, you know, I can look back and say I did something that really became a classic.
Yeah, man, it's good. So, and we end the concerts with that song every night, and it's like to see people just enjoy it and get them up and dancing. It's really cool. So,
yeah. Did y'all shot that video hotel? Or was it So Word? Y'all picked that to shoot the video?
Which one?
Get On Up.
Get On Up was on the top of a bus. It was on a bus.
Yeah.
It was on top of a school bus, which almost fell off like 1,000 times. Yeah, we was right on top of a school bus in the neighborhood.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, now a little bit after that, when y'all took a hiatus as a group. Now, correct me on this. Did you have an album that came out like 99 or 2000?
Yeah, Metamorphic. Madonna was a good friend of mine, and she's like, she should come over to my label and do a record. So I was like, all right, solo album. And, me always wanting to have solo, dreams of being a solo artist and making a solo record. I went over there. I felt like it was a cool situation because we were good friends. But I think, like, mentally, I wasn't prepared for me just being on my own like that. And it's, you think you're ready to be a solo artist until you are a solo artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just, you go through this training, and I think that, like, if I had to go through it all over again, it would have been completely different. Even the situation would have been completely different because, you don't know a lot of things, and you just experiment, and you just having fun. But, yeah, so that was that situation, and I think it was 2000, like that.
Yeah,
like that.
I can only imagine, to like be in a group for so long, and this is all you know to that point, and you haven't really found Mr.Dalvin yet,
Right.
and stuff. And people don't realize time is everything.
Right.
Mentally,
it is. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
what type of sound you want to create, things like that. Now, in 2012, y'all was honored for the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame Awards. So how did it feel, to receive that award in your home state?
It was cool, man. It was cool. I just wish that our home state would have embraced us a lot sooner than they did. North Carolina was the last people almost to come to the table as fans of Jodeci, and we're always kind of salty about that because wherever you come from, you want that to be the place that just embrace you and give you the support. But the radio wouldn't even play Jodeci a long time in North Carolina. Almost the whole United States picked us up. They wouldn't play us. We went to Charlotte, and it was kind of disappointing, to be honest with you, back then, because, we knew we were young. We still, 17, 18 years old. We so excited to go back home, and not one of our songs on the radio. We went to the radio station. They didn't even know our music. Back then you had like record people that would take you around, reps that would take you to different cities. So we think we get to Charlotte, it's going to be like, hey, we done toured the country on this promotional tour, and Charlotte going to love us. Nothing. I mean, it was like crickets. So it's like it was kind of disappointing. But now I love Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's like one of our biggest supporters. We went there. We opened our tour up last year. Our last tour with Drew Hill at SWV, our block party tour, and Charlotte showed us so much love, and I'm so grateful for it. But yeah, I mean, it's good to get the honor. But like I said, to this day, it left a bad taste in our mouth that they would, like, North Carolina was the last of supporters. But I love going home now to get the love and support that they finally give us. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy how that is. Sometimes, you for your whole team, represent them every time, you do something. And you would think that your whole town would, like, register in.
Right. You would think that, yeah.
People get their flowers to, like, the close to their grave, up out of here,
Right,
So,
right.
And it's sad.
But I mean, but they came to, like I said, Charlotte gave us so much love. And to be honest, even to this day, and we're talking about early this year, last year, I mean, we were surprised that the turnout was. I mean, it was like, wow, Charlotte really loves Jodeci, and that was. I mean, I even said it on stage. Like, I was more shocked than anything. I didn't even know it was like one of the biggest turnouts we had on our tour was North Carolina. And it was like, hey man, this really feels good to get this love from your hometown.
I don't know if we tapped on too this. Going back to 1992, when you won your first Billboard Music Award for,
right.
For like top R&B album Forever My Lady. Mm-hmm. So how did that feel to receive a music award, like that?
I think any award is good. It feels good because, you have a lot of, like I said, a lot of other people that's trying to get the same, it's like winning the Heisman or winning the NFL, the Lombardi or, anything. It's like out of everybody, you rose to the top at the time of whatever category you're in, and you won it. So it's always good to be recognized for what you've done and what you've accomplished, and to give you a sense of, hey man, we made it. And then we can look at all these other groups that we looked at growing up over the years, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, the people that you admired and adored, and have the actual same award that they received, which feels good,
You know, I can imagine though to win like 3 straight Soul Train Awards, first out the
Right.
year, then 2 Billboard Music Awards, a multi-platinum album, #1 hit singles. I mean, that's incredible and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, y'all on this tour, right? The residency for Jodeci. So how's that experience, feel like, performing, in the city? Did you thought to yourself, like, like we should have had this? Or you thought to yourself, you know what, time it is everything?
Well, yeah, time is everything. You know, I mean, I think anybody that has achieved a amount of success, you think like people are surprised when I say we've never been nominated for a Grammy. We've never been nominated. You know, we've never
That's
even had a
crazy.
nod or nothing. Yeah, but I mean, and you think like, hey, man, although that doesn't validate you as an artist because you don't get an award that somebody else think that you should or shouldn't have, doesn't validate how good you are. But it's like, how can you really, like, Lady Carlos, how could you overlook Jodeci for a Grammy? Even a Grammy nod or even a nomination, whether we get it or not. I mean, like I said, I feel like we pioneered a lot of things as far as music, and we've sold actually, the amount of sales, which really doesn't certify you to get a Grammy, but we've overly exceeded what any qualification of getting a Grammy would be. And we've never even had a Grammy nod. So, I mean, having a residency is at this stage, and your career is still lovely, man. But you think like, what took y'all so long to knock on the door? But like I said, everything is in timing, and everything has been perfect, and everything is love. You know what I'm saying? So it couldn't have came any sooner or any later. I think it came at a perfect time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy though, because like, I see you perform on drums, over the years and stuff. And I thought to myself, I said, man, he's a bad drummer, man. Now, like, did that, came naturally, when you was a kid, or that, somebody taught you how to play drums?
No, I just sent the drums one day and I could play. And I remember I almost got a whooping because we had a drum set in church, and I remember I walked in there and nobody touched the instrument. And I was probably like maybe 4 or 5 years old, and I snuck up on the drums. I was playing. I was in there banging away. And my dad ran there, who on them drums? And he's like, my dad's like, wait a minute, keep playing. And I just kept playing. So I know how to play. And it's like, even Devontae can play almost every instrument. And, no lessons. We never had lessons. It's just a God-given talent, I guess, one of the things that we're blessed with. So, you got to some things that just come, you know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things that just came naturally,
Yeah. Now, around, what was it, 2021, you put out a single, Good Times Remix.
Right.
So what made you want to get, what motivated you to get into like the Mr.Dalvin mode around that time?
Right. Well, okay, so now we're moving into the Mr. Dalvin era of this interview, which I like. Well, I guess COVID had happened, and everybody was just, you couldn't really do nothing. Everybody was stuck in the house. We couldn't go to the studio and make any records. We couldn't do anything. So I said, and I have a studio in my house. So I said, you know what? Let me just start messing with this equipment because I need to start making music. I can't just sit around and wait and see what the outcome of the world's going to be. I just want to make something that feels good. And I remember I kept telling my sister, I'm going to start making solo records. I'm going to start making my own, producing, writing, doing everything on my own. That's what I want to do. And I just wrote Good Times. It just came. I was just sitting. I was just like, hey, it just came in my head. I just made it. And from then on, we shot the video. And like, this is going to be a trend with me. I'm just ready to get this Mr. Dalvin train rolling simultaneously while I get the Jodeci train back on the track. So, and that's just what happened. So, and I started just coming up with ideas. And every idea I would go make, because I have the freedom to make any record, anytime, any kind of way I want to. And so now I can make a record and put it out tomorrow if I want to. So I started thinking of concepts and thinking of ideas and thinking of, different things I want to do. And I just did it,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the next one, She Bad. So around this time, you was on the road, putting out like a handful of singles and stuff. Not thinking about the album yet, but like, taking baby steps just to see, in the crowd, could, to go your direction. Because a lot of times, when artists do go solo, some fans, they stuck in like, well, I don't think he or she will do all that good. We just focus on that.
Right.
I always say give a person a chance. Like if you rock with them this way, give a chance on that way and stuff.
Right. I mean, well, like I said earlier, some people, they don't want to accept anything different than what they're used to. And it's always hard, like, because Jodeci, you want to see Jodeci together, and people want me to be stuck in Jodeci. No matter what I can do on my own, they want to see me and Jodeci, but that's fine. And I love Jodeci. Jodeci is the mothership of everything that we do. That's the foundation. but I'm able to build my own property on that foundation. You know, whether you want to come live in my house and visit me, that's on you. I make music that I like. I make music, and my fans gonna rock with me. If you don't want to rock with me, you don't have to. You're not obligated. But hey, I'm gonna continue to do what I know how to do, and I enjoy doing. That's making music and putting out my videos. If you don't like them, you know, people come in my comments, they want to hate on me. I just laugh and I just gently just delete them and block them. I don't have to sit there and argue with you. I'm not gonna defend what I love doing. You know, I won't come to your house and talk to you about your bad cooking, so don't talk about my records if you don't like them. So at the end of the day, you know, it really doesn't matter. You don't have to like me. You're not obligated. So Absolutely. It is what it is. I love what I do, and I enjoy. If I get one fan out of me spending 20 hours making one song, that's enough for me. If one person like something I do to take me 20 hours to do, that's cool. There's one more person that enjoys it just as much as I do, and so that's fine. And like I said, I tell my fans, I really appreciate them because they keep me motivated. Even though the little handful of people that just want to hate me because they want to with no merit or no reason, that's fine. Living that misery on your own. I got people, even though it's a handful of people, that give me support and love, and I love right back. So it's not like I'm going to keep on making records. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing until you can stop hating me, and you're going to end up loving me, so it doesn't matter.
The other joint you put out, Good Times, the reggaeton remix,
right?
And what's on Inseparable right. And Love You Down.
Mm-hmm. These are songs, like I said, and then you got after that, I did a project called Famous, and you know, I've made so many records, and I feel like once people catch on to this Mr.Dalvin journey, people are gonna go back and enjoy the things that I've done instead of trying to just pin me down to be a part of something they want me to be a part of. And that's fine. I'm always going to be a part of Jodeci. I'm never going to leave Jodeci, never ever. But I'm able to do what I can do and take my slice of what I do in Jodeci and make it on my own. You know, and that's what I do. And that's what I'm going to continue doing. So it's not like I'm not going to just, I'm done with Jodeci. I'm never going to be done with Jodeci. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to do what I love doing. That's making records on my own too, you know.
Absolutely. Now, correct me on this. Are you in talks? Will you do like a playlist solo set? You know, say of your singles and have it like on a website or something like that, or like a virtual concert, or more like in person.
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's gonna be more like in person. I love performing. You know what I'm saying? I would do a Jodeci set on my performance as well as my own material. You know, because Jodeci is individual and it's four of us. So I'm guessing if anybody in Jodeci do a solo set, they're going to do Jodeci because that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? We've all been a part of Jodeci, so we all can utilize what we've done. And, you know, it's part of my set. So when I get out there, and we're in the process of putting together shows for myself as well as, you know, Jodeci shows. And, you know, like I said, I'm never going to stop working. I'm going to continue doing what I do, whether it's on my own or whether with Jodeci or whatever. So, yeah. So if I'm coming to your city, make sure you come and see me.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Shoot, man. You come to Little Kentucky, I'll definitely be there. Bring the whole family.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And stuff. But with that being said, you done so much in your career. You done music and stuff. Have you ever thought about like tapping to acting, or they haven't really been in the cards or anything like that?
Yeah, I've actually had a couple of roles that's been handed to me, but I think like when they were really everybody's knocking on the door, I was just so focused on Jodeci. And at the time, almost like in the 90s, early 2000s, you had to be one-dimensional. I mean, now I'm looking back, I wish I would have expanded a little bit more, but to me, I felt like, and being so young at the time, that Jodeci was just everything I needed to indulge in. Like, you know, I modeled for Tommy Hilfiger. I did a couple other things if you go back and look it up. So it's like, but to me, Jodeci was the main focus. And like knowing what I know now, if I knew then, I think I'd have made different choices. But, you know, the door's still open. You know, I spoke to 50. I said, man, put me on one of them shows. So we'll see. We'll see. I had a conversation with him probably like about 4 or 5 months ago. He said, I got you. I said, man, you just talk. He said, no, I'm serious. I said, put me on one of them shows. So we'll see. Maybe you'll see me on one of these power shows or something.
Yeah. I see that he put everybody on like the BMF and the Power,
right.
Power Book 1 and 2 and stuff.
So hopefully you'll see me somewhere on the screen. I'm not opposed to it. I think I'm a good actor.
Oh, before we end this interview, you got like any merch you want to promote that you got out?
Yes, Egomaniac. Make sure you go check it out. It's streaming everywhere. and click the link in my bio. It's on Instagram, and watch the short film. It's good. It explains the album. It's kind of like the soundtrack to the album. And I have a project before this was called Famous. Check it out. And just go type me in and just become a fan of Mr.Dalvin and understand who I am. And I have a label that I got called Camp Music. So I'm gonna start, just getting independent artists that want to be a part of my label, my production company, and trying to build something, And I'm gonna go out in this campaign for independent artists. It's gonna be my thing. And go to my YouTube channel and watch the videos and get acquainted.
Thank you, my brother, for taking the time to come on here.
Thank you.
Shout out to Hip Hop Elise.
I want to say,
for
thank you, Hip Hop Elise, and me and Hip Hop Elise about to do a lot of things. She's, we doing a lot of business together, and we in talks, and we working some things out. Thank you, Hip Hop Elise. Great.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for taking the time coming on here. So, because my thing, I always want people to get to know Dalvin, the man himself,
right.
With your whole history, what I'm saying? Because my brother, I'm going to tell you something, man, you came on this earth for a reason, not for a season, man.
Appreciate you.
I can't
and
wait
one more
for you
thing.
to put out. Go ahead.
All my fans, I love you guys. Everybody that tune in and support me, that comment on my posts and send me love. I really, really, really do love you guys. And, I wish I could sit there and thank you guys one by one every day. But thank you for the support. Thanks for the follows and thanks for the encouragement every day. I really love it. You know what I'm saying? I know as artists, we don't get a chance to really tell y'all that much, but it means the world to me, at least. I can speak for myself. So I love you guys, each and every one of you. So thank you.
Man,
thank you, man, for having me on your show, man. I appreciate it. It's been good.
Hey, man, it's an honor, man.
You, man. Thank you.
Saying, to me, it's an honor, man, because to watch you on TV and, and then, to create, a sound, man, that's like, stands the test of time, man. And,
right.
And I hope that, you guys get a Star Walk of Fame,
right.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, honorees, and
appreciate it.
Black Music Honors, whatever, man. You guys deserve it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Looking forward for your solo project, more solo
projects. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. When I'm in your city, man, let's link up, man. Let's do it.
You got it, brother.
All right. Peace out, brother. I appreciate you.
They said we out.
All right. Peace out.